Hey, good morning, everybody. I spent last night working on this deck in Pioneer. This is a mono green aggro deck, kind of revolving around Hardened Scales. Definitely not needing the card in play to work or anything, but you get to play the 8 mana elves that you get in the mono green shells in the format. And then Hardened Scales powers up your Swarm Shambler, which is another payoff for a deck full of creatures with +1 counters. Swarm Shambler, when it is with 1/1 counter, so 2 if you have scales in play. You can tap it to put another counter on it, or 2 if you have scales in play. And whenever a creature you control with a counter on it becomes a target of a spell and opponent controls, you make a token. And then tokens are also good in this deck because you have Nissa, Voice of Zendikar, so -2, put a bunch of counters on them. We also have Barkhide Troll as a really reasonably costed beater that can get hexproof. We have Ooze, of course, kind of a. I'm only playing 3. I'm playing 3 main one side. You could also get 1 with the Vivien minus here, but this card can get out of control with Hardened Scales, and obviously Graveyard Hate is pretty relevant in Pioneer. Ranger class is also a card I've been really impressed with. Not a card I really got to play much with, because I haven't played much Standard while this card's been around, but this card has been really impressive. Comes down, makes a 2/2 wolf, you level it up, and then whenever you attack, you put a 1/1 counter on an attacking creature. You can level up again to cast creature spells on the top of your library if you're flooding out. And then I'm also playing Inscription of Abundance, which is probably the weakest card in the deck. It has 3 modes, put 2 counters on a creature, 2 creatures fight, and you can gain X life. But like an instant speed way to kill a Winota, I think is pretty relevant, which is why we game 1 especially, which is why I'm playing it. But I was playtesting the deck. I went 4-1 in my league last night. Deck felt pretty sick. Gonna be, hoping that we see some similar results here today. Oh, I missed the chest cold open. Welcome all to a very special episode of Truck Typhoon. I'm always your gracious host and dear friend, Aspiring Spike. Today, the Typhoon, we're gonna get serious. No more jokes, no more mess around. Only hardcore pro tour practice with a tier 0 deck, Hardened Scales. So bear down for the finals and buckle up, because the trophies are gonna come fast and furious. But only if you remember to like, subscribe, hit the bell, leave a comment, and give some bets. Thank you, Chest. Big Dumps, thank you for the 5 months. Appreciate you. Definitely good with Nissa, Voice of Zendikar. It seems like maybe it's kind of weak in like lower resource games. I'm also playing a couple of copies of Nykthos. I was playing just 1 in my league last night, but the card, was like incredible every single time I drew it. So I think you could afford to play at least 2. You probably don't want to play too many copies though. It was like particularly good like with the Lair of the Hydras, just sink a bunch of mana into your Lair. Turn 1 Shokazan. Okay, we're going to lead on Elvish Mystic here. They have a Flame Blessed Bolt. That's okay. And into a Jace Vryn's Prodigy. Okay, so maybe we'll end up fighting that with the Inscription of Abundance next turn. Yeah, I actually... Oh, Days Undoing. I was not expecting that to happen. I guess that makes sense when my opponent is on a mulligan here. I guess I'm just gonna attack for 3, triple 1-drop. Yeah, it makes sense on the mull to 5. Lair of the Hydra seems sus. Probably worse than DD Manlands has been good for me. It has been good for me, yeah. I think that it's still Manland. The Manland's also in mono green and the Nykthos shell. I've really liked it. Manland's also with Ranger class, like just the fact that like you can have Hardened Scales Ranger class in play and you need creatures to attack with. The Lair of the Hydra has been very relevant, won me several games last night. Crispy, thank you for 3 months, appreciate you. Crawling Barrens, I'm not that interested in a colorless land in a deck that's playing 11 1-mana green spells, Barkhide Troll. Captain Badger, the 5 months, appreciate you. Okay, so they target the Shambler, and I do get a insect token out of the deal. You kill their... You actually cannot activate X... You cannot activate X equals 0. But, which is actually a downside in the deck. It's actually a downside that you can't do X equals 0, because you would want to after you put counters on it. It's kind of funny. Okay. So, obviously things have started to not go my way. I think what I'm going to do here is play a Gearhulk and Put 3 counters on the elf, and then 1 counter on the troll. Get in for 8, but then they get to block and flip the Jace. Our first hand was so strong, and then we got Days Undoing. Thoughts on a Great Hinge, trimming a Planeswalker too. I don't know. I don't think that we're making necessarily, like, we don't have the 5 power creatures. We have like a lot of 3 and 4 power creatures. I think you need like 5 or 6 power creatures for a Great Hinge to be good. Feels like you want a Winding Constrictor, splash white for the whole Constrictor. The white Constrictor. Oh, the Centaur. I think you could splash white. I think that's a fine way to build a deck. The deck's mana is a lot better with mono green. And I also think what's kind of cool about this list is you get to be, I think, more aggressive, more consistent on just deploying your cards. And I'm not of the opinion that you need... I'm not of the opinion that you need Hardened Scales in play for this deck to function either. But you know, this is also the pain of being me. I spend all night working on a deck, and it's just immediately Spike. Here's 17 different ways you can build the deck. Go ahead and do it. Do it right now. Maybe we can get through one match before being like, Spike, you actually need to build a deck in a completely different way. I think I need to Gearhulk just as an 8/8 here. Battle with the 25 months. Appreciate you. I obviously considered being green-white. I obviously considered being Abzan, green-black. I think mono green is the way to go. But obviously, there's a lot to be done, you know. Any updates on the Orzhov list? Not yet. Not yet. This blue-red control deck, I think, is very, very good, by the way. Then just go to game 2. Awesome God. Yeah, I'm liking Pioneer a lot. Did I look at Ochre Jelly? I looked at literally every single Pioneer legal card that said +1 counter on it. So last time I played this matchup, I cut a inscription for an ooze. And I thought about playing maybe Elder Gargaroth. Like, just like the big high toughness creatures seem hard for them to kill, but especially against the lack of counter magic, I'm just not sure if that's the way to attack the matchup. The inscriptions, like, to kill a thing in the ices, are still pretty important. You also have Vivien that could do that sometimes. Retain priority with the 21 months. Appreciate ya. Yeah, what is the jelly? Well, we can. I think we're gonna take a mulligan. No cheap acceleration. I think that's gonna have to be fine. Let me put back, I think, the second copy of Ranger class. What, the Ozolith? You could play a copy of the Ozolith. Probably don't want to play too many. When Jelly dies, there are 2 more counters on it. Create tokens, copy the beginning next instep. Tokens with half that many counters on it, rounded down. That card's pretty interesting. I must have missed that one. Let's play the Troll, because this one doesn't get killed by a shock here. I tested Rishkar. Rishkar kind of felt like the worst card in the deck when I was playing it last night. I had 2, and it was just like kind of underwhelming every time I drew it, I felt. Okay, so Inscription does mean if they block, we get some damage in, or we get to kill the thing in the ice. Awesome. And 5/5 that can gain Hexproof, pretty good in this matchup. John's the Twitch Prime, appreciate you. I thought Hangerback Walker make the cut. I played, like, I think, 1 league with like 2 Hangerback Walkers, and I also just wasn't that impressed by it. Like, it's kind of a classic trap to fall into, right? Where you recognize Hangerback Walker is a good card in the modern version of Hardened Scales, but this is an aggro deck. This is like a hard aggro deck, and Hangerback Walker is not a good aggro card. So I think I am going to play the Elf here. It's obviously, like, a bit risky to play this and, like, not have the Hexproof up on the Barkhide Troll. But they have to have, like, exactly Aethergast. And even if they do, you know, we're still, you know, pretty ahead on board. Jellyfish is infinite with Hardened Scales and a sack outlet. There's no good sack outlets in Pioneer. So, I wouldn't get too lost in the sauce there. Okay, so they killed my wolf, but not my elf. 7 cards still in their hand. And they play a Jace. Okay. Probably good to just play Ooze and hold mana up this turn. As much as I would love to just Ranger class it up here. I think I'll go ahead and eat the thing in the ice now, so that a shock is not able to kill my Ooze. Is Pioneer fun? I tend to have a good time with it, yeah. Fun is obviously a very subjective concept, though. I like it, though. Snake? Yeah, I mean, I consider being green-black, the big issue is, like, there weren't really too many things drawing you to black besides Winding Constrictor, and then you could obviously, there are cards that you could play green-white for. Jamoka's Command and Luminarch Aspirant, specifically, are pretty interesting. Your mana does get, like, a lot worse in green-white, though, because you don't have a green-white fast land. You have a green-black fast land, you don't have a green-white fast land, which is a huge problem when you're trying to splash 2-mana white spells. That being said, I think you could build, I think a green-white build seems more likely. It's also true, like, the Centaur card, that card is, I guess, also kind of awkward because it's 2 toughness, and 2 toughness is not very good in Pioneer at the moment. So, I mean, there's just kind of, like, a lot of problems. Yeah, Conclave Mentor, that card being 2 toughness is tough. Oh, man, we tapped out of the hexproof here, unfortunately. I think I'm going to go ahead and bottom this at this point. Maybe a game-losing play. What's kind of interesting here is that we can attack with the Ooze, and if they want to do the block sack trick, then we get to eat their graveyard with the Ooze, and they don't get to flip it, and we get to kill the Jace. So yeah, they're deciding just to flip the Jace now. Discarding another Jace. Flame Bless Bolt the Mystic. Exiling it, obviously very relevant here. Ooh, Scales. Okay, so I think we play Scales, exile their Jace, and then I'm 1 mana short of activating the Ranger class. It's probably better for me to kill their Jace than it is to hit them for 5 here. It's gonna close though. Branch Left Pathway, those are fast green white. Yeah, I mean, all the pathways exist. I know that those cards exist. I'm telling you, the mana base is still not very, but it's much worse than green black for a deck like this. Okay, Ooze down. Seems correct to just play second Ooze and then target my own Ooze, try to get this out of burn range, target my opponent's graveyard for another Delve spell. Yeah, I know. I knew that this was gonna be like, I knew this was gonna be the issue with this deck. Is like I sat down and spent hours last night like working on this deck and like exploring like what a white splash, what a green splash would look like. I'm not saying that I have it perfect on the first try here, but I am saying that I spent a lot of time on this. Let's just like get through a couple matches before you know everybody just keeps hammering in the same points over and over again. Oh no! Oh my gosh. Damn it. Blue-red deck is so good. Okay, pretty good hand, gonna keep this. Snakeskin Veil. Snakeskin Veil, I think, sounds like a pretty good inclusion. It's not something I currently have. I have Heroic Intervention in the sideboard to beat Verdict. I like the idea, though. Yeah, blue-red control seems great. I think that the best way to beat the blue-red control deck is the Anvil lists, and I haven't really, I played Anvil that first stream and it went really well. I've just kind of been exploring other stuff, but hopefully we circle back and find some more success there. Interesting. What are we doing here? It's either gonna be Nissa +1 chump block or yeah, I think I kind of like Nissa +1 chump block. And then maybe next turn we can go like Scales Ooze minus or like Scales Ranger class minus. Peanut Bread Black Anvil and both the Modern Pioneer. I think it's a great deck in Pioneer. I think it's silly that I worked really hard on the archetype, and I really feel like 4 Shrapnel Blast is the way to go in that deck over the Fatal Pushes. But everybody's still just playing Fatal Push, so I'm losing my mind about it. But I also still like the deck in Modern. I don't think it's the best choice, but I do think it's competitive somewhat. Is Blue White still a popular deck? It's weird. Blue White was super popular last week. This week everybody's playing Blue Red instead. I think we may scale Ooze plus. Actually, unless they have a troll. Yeah, it just kind of depends. They have a Primal Might. Okay, well, Nissa down. It's probably not going to be the end of the world. Yeah, why don't this turn we go Ranger class, and the next turn we can activate Ranger class, cast Hardened Scales. In Pioneer, Blue-White Control is that Blue-Red deck. Blue-White Control versus the Blue Control deck, which has an edge. The Blue-Red deck, I think, is pretty favored in that matchup. Might play Scales. I'm not sure what their blue splash is for. I don't know what they're playing exactly. So I leveled this up, Yeah, maybe it's Stubborn Denial. That's kind of interesting. Stubborn Denial, Stompy. Stubborn Denial does seem like a pretty good card to be on. Yeah, Ranger class is a great card. I remember like when this card got spoiled, I was like, man, I really want to play with this card, but it's just not a modern power level card. So they didn't do anything this turn. I think I'm just going to go to combat, see how they act. Is Energy playable in Pioneer? I think Aetherworks Marvel is like maybe fringe playable. I've sat down a couple times to work on it. Collected Company, okay. Into Ronus, Llanowar Elves. Ronus cannot block, unfortunately, for them. And if they end up chump blocking here, the Ooze is going to be pretty strong. I think we might as well, though, just get Ranger class to level 3. Since, like, we can eat this with Ooze next turn pretty free. And we get a free Ooze from the top. Nice. Yeah, I feel like I agree that the Marvel decks seem like a little too inconsistent. But it is true, like, there just, like, aren't very many counterspells in the format either. Yeah, Rona's so bad, I agree. So we're drawing Forest for turn. Next turn we're drawing Vivien, which is pretty strong. And they just concede. Cool. Alright, we out-stompy the Stompy deck. Don't know that we want to... I guess I want these Elder Gargaroths. Gargaroth seems like a pretty good mirror breaker here. I usually when you want to leave this Verdurous Gearhulk in the sideboard to get with Vivien. It is true, though, that maybe Vivien on the draw is just kind of like a little weak and going to get run over. So one thing we could maybe do is go down to like 1 Vivien and just play a bunch of 5-mana creatures as our top end instead of Vivien. I think that's kind of interesting. Maybe I'll go down like a second Ooze and play 2 Viviens, because I do think the minus is pretty good, at least. Okay, pretty strong hand. Gonna keep this. Hornet's Nest. Okay, that card's very good against us. Trying to think if I think I probably just want to play Ooze here for mana efficiency. What about Fight Rigging? Okay, for a card like Fight Rigging, you gotta type !card Fight Rigging, because I just don't have that one, what that does off the top of my head. Ooh, the Ooze Wars. Second Scales is pretty good. See if they have a Stubborn Denial. They don't. Awesome. I think I'm gonna split up the counters here so I get max value. Just pass. Not gonna attack into the nest. Although I guess the trample is pretty good against Hornet's Nest. Still gonna wait. Enchantment. Oh, it's the new enchantment. Beginning of combat turn, put a counter on creature control. Then if you control creature power 7 or greater, you may cast play exile card. That card's kind of cool. That card's kind of cool. Zach, through the 5 months. Appreciate you. Is this a Hydroid Crisis? It's Primal Might. Oh no, on the Hornet's Nest! Ah! Oh my gosh, what a blowout. Oh, that's game over. That's game over. I think. Excuse me, sorry. That's a combo. I think I'll attack with the Elvish Mystic. Yeah. Okay. They have another Primal Might. Decisive Denial to fight here and here. I actually get to keep the Vivien alive because I get my insect token after the target. This card's pretty cool in their deck. You know, one thing I do like about this deck is you can, you can turn your elves into not terrible top decks with your planeswalkers plus scales. Opponent is going to get to make this a 4/4. We're going to lose our Vivien to the Flyers. We're still in, like, really bad shape, but... Oh, they forgot to Ooze end of turn. Would new Vivien be good here? I can't remember what the new Vivien does, to be honest. Okay, taking this hit down to... Or just, sorry, Vivien just dead. And then I draw my own Ooze, and they've got no green mana available, so I actually get to be the one that gets to eat all the creatures here. Making my Ooze absolutely massive. 11/11. I don't think I want to trade Llanowar Elf for Steel Leaf right now. Spike, I want to like your Pioneer content, I really do, but it's just boring compared to Modern, in my opinion, obviously. I think, that's fine. I encourage you to do something else than watch the Pioneer streams, if you're not enjoying the Pioneer streams. And there will still be Modern streams. There may be some Modern later today. I think, as general rule of thumb, I think forcing yourself to like something is... So I think Vivien trampling through is probably going to be, like, maybe my... a better game plan than I expected in this matchup. But I think forcing yourself to like something you're not liking is never really a good idea. And yeah, and obviously there's just always gonna be people on both sides. There's literally nothing I can do to make everybody happy. The only person I can for sure keep engaged is myself, I guess. I will say though, I did nothing but play Modern for 2 years. I do feel for all the people that are like, it's honestly like the most place I've seen it is in the YouTube comments rather than here. But like, I have seen a lot of people on YouTube like, Spike, I know you're playing Pioneer, but can you please just play some more Modern? I did nothing but play Modern for like like 8 hours a day for 2 years. I get a break. I get a break. Okay. Kind of wish we had one more mana. We could just Scales, Inscription Fight. Oh, I guess that's not enough. Never mind. I'm just really worried about getting blown out by the fight spell here. I think I just have to play into it. Yeah, they were playing the counterspell fight spell. It looks pretty good. Yeah, I know a lot of people are liking the Pioneer content. I'm also enjoying playing Pioneer. Please just play Aronis. Looks like they have Primal Might. But they only need to spend 2 mana on Primal Might, so I don't know why they're spending 3. It doesn't really matter. Just deal 1 extra to be safe. Oh, sorry. This set needs to get 6 toughness. That's right. Well, it's pretty bad for me. I knew I was playing right into it. I didn't think I really had a choice. Maybe there's always a choice. So this enters as a 4/4. I can block and then 2 counters on defense. Guess I can get in for 1 as well. I mean, obviously, like, I'm acting like I have something. Maybe they think I'm just leaving up double hexproof. Do you have a mono green devotion list that I can Pioneer? I played some mono green devotion. Here, this is like before Canister started to like play the combo version with Nissa. I'm not sure that version's necessarily better than just playing 4 Haven, 4 Burning Tree. It might be though. I haven't played it myself. I think we're just passing still. Second Scales obviously makes, you know, all of our top decks pretty strong, and they may do something end of turn here that forces my hand. Second Steel Leaf, and just a second Steel Leaf. Okay. Why are more of the big man decks playing Cyclonic Rift, at least on the board? Cyclonic Rift isn't good outside of EDH. Alright, I think it's time. So they have the counter, yeah. Still get to trade here though. Need big top deck here, Elder Gargaroth. Ranger class is actually not bad. You even have an attack here. Problem is they're going to start drawing cards with their Werewolf Pack Leader, but it's still a good top deck. Rob, to get the 5 months, appreciate ya. Been new job, working weeks. I've been watching the day off. Well, welcome. sorry for stumbling all over your post, but thank you for joining us today. Glad to have you. Llanowar Elves, definitely not a huge show of strength for my opponent. Second Ranger class is actually very good for us, though. I think we put just 1 counter on each, or I could put 2 counters on the Wolf. Probably 1 counter on each. Do you have a Coco? They should have done this after I attacked, right? Oh, they get to hit Reclamation Sage. That's pretty good. So am I still attacking with both creatures here? Or am I leaving back? I think I leave back the 4/4 Elvish Mystic. Smoke with the 11 months, appreciate you. Do you have a sideboard guide for Modern Jund Saga anywhere? Yeah, I have any sideboard guides are on Channel Fireball, and I do have one for Jund Saga over there. So they drew Forest for turn. This can turn into a 5/3 trampled non-human. They get to draw a card here. So blocking, if I block the Pack Leader, it's kind of nice that we make them spend the mana. But then we go to 1 life, which is not that much. So maybe it's better to block like this. I mean, that Coco is pretty big. They drew an elf off the attack. Glad it seems like they forgot about Lair of the Hydra. Nissa is a pretty good pickup. This is definitely something that makes me feel like I might be able to win this game. Not right now, though. We're actually just dead on board, right? Yeah, we're actually just dead on board if they remembered the Lair. So close. They didn't remember the Lair last turn though, so maybe they'll forget it this turn. I think if we plus, we're like just in chump block mode, we're not winning the game anyways. Okay. They remember the Lair. A couple of rough games. Let's try at least one more time. If this goes poorly, I'm gonna play some Red Black Rock in Modern. When people can complain about me not playing Pioneer. I mean, I know this is a one-lander, but we have an elf and we have double Hardened Scales. I think you just have to keep this one every single time. And I do love to see an opposing Lair of the Hydra, which means my elf is really likely to survive. I would love to draw a land next turn, though. Trying to Just to Kill is not a modern power level card. I think Trying to Just to Kill is very good, but is this just you throwing hate into the chat? Just out of nowhere, Chandra Just to Kill is not a modern power. Oh, awesome! We drew the land. just hate in your heart with a comment like that. Out of nowhere. I guess my opponent's playing a similar stompy deck to what we played against last time. Oh, it's Winota. Oh, it's Winota. Okay. I think I'm going for this. They can trade if they want to. You can trade if you want to. I'd kind of prefer if you didn't, so that I can have instant speed fight up starting next turn for the Winota. The Glasspool Mimic is pretty interesting. I haven't seen Winota decks playing that before. Mana Confluence also seems okay as like a one-of. Oh yeah, I guess yeah, what's the blue mana for? But they have Glasspool Mimic, obviously. Maybe Neoform. Maybe Neoform. I don't know. I don't know what they're getting. Flibble flip, let's go! Oh man. My opponent has won my heart, I think. Could be an Ascendancy deck. Like Jeskai Ascendancy? Love to draw a land so I could play Ooze with Inscription up. Ooze is so big here. Wait, what are they do? Oh, they're just trying to block with the elf. Okay. Maybe not. Gain 5 life. Okay. Well, I didn't think they'd be taking all that. I'm going to hold up Inscription to kill a Winota here. Wasn't quite lethal. Man, I called the Neoform, I called the Winota, everything just exactly as I foreseen it. Yeah, this is why we're playing the Inscriptions, instant speed kill Winota. Take 5. Never took 5 before. Okay, probably just going. Well, I guess I could go Nissa minus and then put the counter here and make them double chump. Seems a lot safer to just attack with the wolf and then Ooze double activation. Ooze is going to be pretty hard for them to deal with. Kinrith reanimates? Oh no. Good thing I've got Scavenging Ooze in play. Are Dampening Spheres exclusively for Lotus? Yeah. Yeah. I think if you're not dedicating like 4 sideboard cards to Lotus Field, you either like have to somehow just have a good game 1 matchup or you're building your deck wrong. That deck is just so terrifying. 7 mana for an Agent of Treachery. Okay. So not gonna eat anything here. Oh, should I have exiled the Winota? Well, I didn't want to eat the Winota because I didn't want to make their Ooze an 8/8. I forgot. Yeah, I should have done it though. I should have done it. Now they have 2 blockers. I can make them double chump. But then I'm dead on this crackback. They miss lethal? No, they didn't. How did they miss lethal? Is it, I guess there's something here I'm missing. Trample haste. Oh, trample haste the Ooze. Yeah, that is miss lethal. I missed it too. Well, Cage gets some extra value against them because they're on Neoform, which is nice. What do you think is the best sideboard plan for aggro decks versus Lotus Field? If you're red, you probably want to play Alpine Moon. If you're not, you play Damping Sphere like we're doing here. Yeah, I forgot that this card gave Trample, but I guess maybe just Haste was lethal anyways. Maybe they'll remember Trample Haste now. Yeah, they forgot it again. Kenrith does a lot. Okay, my opponent can probably brick 3 times. And they can brick on 18 cards for sure. Yikes. Okay, so we get to bring in 4 Grafdigger's Cages. I think I'm going to cut these Swarm Shamblers because they don't really have much targeted removal. I also think Elder Gargaroth is probably pretty strong against the... I've been bringing in Gargaroth against the more traditional version of Winota, but against this version that has Agent of Treachery, it feels a bit more dangerous. It feels a bit more dangerous. Yeah, I think I probably just won't. Maybe I'll play a second Gearhulk over the Ooze, and this way I can kind of spread up spread the power out a little bit. And then we still have, you know, Ooze and Gargaroth to get off Vivien Ultimate. Thank you for the 10 months. Appreciate you. 4K seems like a lot. Yep. I hate losing to Winota. Winota's also like... Winota and Lotus Field are like ridiculous decks that... you guys just have to really respect, you know what I mean? In a deck like this, especially, too. You have to respect it. Winota is a ridiculous Magic card. It is just, like, so, like, horrendously designed. Okay, we're gonna be on the play. Mulligan this. Keep this hand, put back second Leyline. The top of our library is kind to us. Who is Reynad? Maybe I should have attacked, and then if they block, I get to put the counters on. Bad. MTG players banned and moved to Hearthstone. Spike gets into drama with banned Hearthstone streamer! Exclamation mark, question mark, question mark. Oh boy. Alright. Spirit tokens. Attack with both. See what we pick up here. Barkhide Troll's not too bad. Comes down as a 4/4. Big drama today, huh? Main phase, gain 3 life. I think that their mana is not cooperating here. Their mana base seems kind of sus, to be honest. Okay, don't think going to Hashep Oasis when they've got these chump blockers. Just gonna send in. Could only activate this as sorcery. My experiment scales haven't been promising in Pioneer. I 4-1'd my practice league last night, or one of them. I had like a couple different builds that were worse. I liked the deck last night. So you can activate this as a 3/3. It's fine. I recommend reading my description to read now before passing judgment on one line from chat. I wasn't. I was just kind of commenting on... I don't know. I've never heard of this person before. It's cool that they're a fan. I don't know anything about the person, though. Generally good. Oh, yes! Neoforming into the cage! I think it's generally good to not make big, sweeping opinions of people you've never heard of without doing, like, any reading of your own. My comment was basically no comment. Okay, go to game 3. Yeah, last night I spent 6 hours testing the one of Logic Knot and Inverter. I determined it was horrible, and Thunder should be banned from the chat for suggesting, but I did decide to be lenient. I'm looking for good ways for mid-range decks to combat Lotus Field. I'm wondering how difficult it will be for Lotus decks to combo off if you exile all their pour over the pages with Unmoored Ego. Obviously, hitting the field would be ideal. Can always do that before they played one. I think that like hitting hidden strings is maybe more relevant. I mean, they can go off. They can go off through it. That's the problem. Is Unmoored Ego just like once they have Lotus Field in play is not the best way to fight them. You may be best just playing your own Damping Spheres, Alpine Moons. It's tough though. How about Persist? So yeah, I think I'm just gonna wait until the new cards are out to test the Reanimator version of Inverter. I might not, but I at the very least didn't work on it last night. Was working on this. Yeah, we were talking about Hangerback Walker. This is an aggro deck. This is very much an aggro deck. Hangerback Walker is a really defensive card, and so I don't think you want to play it because of that. Unless you have so many ways to deal with Damping Sphere, it seems like you can't present a fast enough clock, you just can't win. You're right. This is the reality of Lotus Field, and why like I really dislike Lotus Field being in the format is that it is very good against counter spells, discard spells. It races really quickly, and now with Boseiju and Odawara, it can answer any lock piece. It can't always answer them, and the lock pieces are still, in my opinion, the best way to fight them. But you are right that yes. You are right that these cards are not... They don't win the game by themselves, and it's a big problem. And like, just like, the unfortunate reality is there's not like, oh, you can play this card instead. It just doesn't exist. I wish that wasn't the case. But I do think it's I think that, like, the Lotus Field deck seems to be, like, just, like, the biggest... With Winota too, it's like you play Grafdigger's Cage and they just have this cohesive beatdown game plan against you. Look, yeah, my opponent's just gonna cast a turn 3 Torvalar's Huntmaster. I am, I'm stumbling on my mana, whatever. But like, this is the biggest problem with the Winota deck and the Lotus Field deck and Pioneer in general is like the really good combo decks. There are sideboard cards that are good against them, but you can't mulligan for them because their plan Bs are just so good against you. You know, you have to have like a really good draw and your sideboard cards. Wouldn't Livala be good versus Lotus Field? It's the blue-white creature. I mean, yeah, like the like Archon of whatever and Livala are two of the best ways to beat the deck because they're creatures. That being said, not that many decks have access to them, and they still do usually play some creature removal too. I missed that, yo. Channel points are not off. Can you post it in chat again? If I miss it, you could just spam it. What do you think of Niv and Jace, a secondary threats for blue-white control? I really don't like Jace. I don't know. Someone posted this the other day. on Twitter, but it's just like everybody just copies especially for Pioneer, people just like copy whatever like the MTG Goldfish lists are or the challenge list, and they never like try to really even tweak them. But yeah, the Jace is I think really bad, and I think that Dig Through Time is better than Cruise in the. I think Jace is really bad. I think Dig Through Time is better than Cruise, and for the most part, like there's just like not a lot of people, I think, improving upon the blue-red deck. I enjoyed your Mono Red Fires list. Thought about putting Spaghetti in it instead. Okay, so it is my opinion that the Eldrazi are really underpowered in Pioneer without Eldrazi Temple. Like, you just barely have any reason to play them. I will also say I don't necessarily think that these cards play that well with Fires, but I kind of feel like maybe Fires is a way to, like, kind of trick yourself into thinking that the Eldrazi are more powerful than they actually are. Which I know is... This is kind of a harsh review, I guess, of the deck, but I think it's an honest review. I may actually end up going for a Nissa Ultimate. Not that far off. It's just like the Eldrazi are not that powerful without Eldrazi Temple. Like, these cards weren't very good in Standard, with no way to discount the cost. There's just not much reason to play them. That being said, if this is what you want to do because you think it's cool and fun, I would probably be on the full 4 copies of Field of Ruins. Seems like I like the full 4 Field of Ruins anyways. Nylea's Presence. We have Abundant Growth at home. You could look in the Stream Decker. I think I updated the Stream Decker to how I was building the mana base. Okay. Playing its Elementals. Probably don't want to sideboard too much here. Don't really know exactly what the deck looks like. Yeah, I was also playing a Memorial to War. You probably want to cut that one if you're not playing the Golos package. You have to play 4 Fable too. Fable's just so good. Yeah, so like you probably would have to trim like Cavalier of Flame, but Cavalier is like pretty good with your creature beatdown. We have to play the 4th Fable, I think. And then copy the mana base minus the or sorry, I guess mostly just play more Field of Ruins over the Ramunap Ruins. Field is just so good with Fires. It's so good with the Cleansing Wildfire. Just really, really like that card. So I guess that's my review of the deck. The next turn we get to go Ranger class Swarm Shambler, probably. Is the Lord of the Rings set going to be Pioneer legal? I assume so. Although I did actually hear a rumor that the Lord of the Rings set is only legal to those who have read the books. You're actually not allowed to play with the Lord of the Rings cards if you haven't read the books. So, everybody better start reading if you want to have the best competitive advantage. And of course, when I say read the books, I do mean all of them, not just the Ring trilogy. I think that just that part just goes without saying. Do audiobooks count? Yeah, of course they count. I would never gatekeep audiobooks. Do I want to kick the Leyline or play the Nissa here? I could also level up the Ranger class. I think I'll kick. Alright, so I will put the counters on the Swarm Shambler. I'll gain the life and I'll fight here. Put my opponent down to 7. I feel like Aggro is not so good in Pioneer. Yeah, that's kind of the idea why I'm working on this deck in the first place, is that, yes, Aggro has not done very well in Pioneer so far. So, definitely a part of me playing this deck or working on this archetype is trying to find a good aggro deck. And I did do well in my practice league last night. I know we haven't had that good of a day as today. It's kind of been going like that a lot lately. Just all part of the process, you know. Destroy fires? I don't know. Who cares about the fires? They can cast 2 spells. Yeah. Yeah, just okay, what are they gonna do with Omnath, Locus of Creation? Probably not that much. Probably not gonna be that impactful. Ah! What the hell? Why didn't anybody tell me to destroy this Fires of Invention? Barf. Nobody told me to kill the fires. If only somebody had saved me from my folly. What are they gonna do? Cast 2 spells on the same turn? Seems fine to me. Love to draw a land next turn for Viv. Okay. Too bad that doesn't trigger my Swarm Shambler. I think I just put the counters on the Shambler. Maybe it's better to split it up, so if they kill the elf, I get a token. Not 100% sure. Embodiment of Agonies. I don't think that card's very good. Do I notice Croaky's not streaming, or do I not share the same viewer base? I don't notice when Croaky's is necessarily streaming or not streaming. His time slot's like it overlaps with mine, right? I don't think we really share much of a viewer base, but I mean it also just doesn't matter that much. I've had the same time slot for like 3 years now, almost 3 years. It like I don't really see a big difference because I've just had the same time slot for so long. But yeah, I actually do think that we don't share a very similar viewer base. Obscura Charm and 4-color Yorion. Which one is Obscura? So I have 3 Devotion. Obscura is Esper? I don't know. I think Esper players again, I just think you guys are all addicted to bad 3-drops. Ooh, a bad 3-drop. This will be perfect for my any deck. I don't know. I think that card's pretty weak. It's okay. Sprite Dragon, Unknown Crackling Drake, and Pioneer is a Delver. So if you want to play the Wizards version I was playing, I don't think you can play those cards. I do think you can play without the Wizard Matters cards and play Sprite Dragon, Crackling Drake. Why is Humans in Modern not played anymore? Humans is a fine deck. It's very difficult to build perfectly. You have a lot of like hard deck building decisions now that you didn't always have. So they can get a 5-mana creature. You have a lot of hard deck building decisions that you didn't always have, and you have like a really hard time against most Fury decks. But I do think Humans is an okay deck. I've played some of it during the last trophy race. I liked the deck then. Death Touch Lifelink. If an ability entering the battlefield causes triggered ability permanent to trigger, it triggers an additional time. Wait, what? How's this? How did they get this in play? Oh, they sacked both both of these. Okay, I see. Okay. Yeah. How am I fighting the archetype? I was liking it a lot last night. It hasn't been going too well today. Okay, so this triggers twice because of the Yarok. I see. I attack with everything. They block here. They gain 3 up to 6, and then they take 6. And they die. I mean, no real point in activating the Oasis. I just get to... I guess I don't know why I cast that. But I just get to put the counter from the Ranger class here. Block here. Up to 6, take 6 and die. Okay. That was a scary match. Yeah, people were talking about Snakeskin Veil. So, like, I think you could play Snakeskin Veil over the Inscriptions of Abundance and just be like, I'm just not going to be able to ever kill a creature. I guess you can still have Vivien. I think I'm mulliganing this. Did I consider Winding Constrictor? Yeah. I did. I considered both. I think that a white splash is better than a green splash. Like, there's like basically nothing else besides Winding Constrictor, I think, that would make you really want to be in black. Got deck tech for a Horse Suit. I did. Yeah, Ozolith is maybe a card that should be in here. I'm not sure. It's always a card that I feel like has been, at least for me, hard to evaluate. Ooze Palooza is the name of this deck. Yeah, this was the card people were talking about. It is with X counters on it. When it dies, if it had 2 or more counters on it, create a token that's a copy. Begin next in step. It has with half that many counters rounded down. And this ETB is 1 counter attack creature control. And it attacks 1 counter on each attacking creature with 1 counter on it. Yeah, I looked at this card yesterday. I think it was kind of slow. Could be better than I think it is. I do like how aggressive this deck is, I will say. I think going for the... So you're going for also the Jelly, Woe Strider... Oh wait, hold on. Where's your Ozoliths? The Ithux Blades does not seem very good, just to like get a removal spell. Dream was a sacrifice, but you uses Woe Strider, double the ooze count every instep. That is the dream. Okay, I will say I think you need to play 4 Hardened Scales, probably over the Lethal Exploits, and then I thought that you wanted to play the Ozolith to combo with the Ooze. Also, playing Coco seems like maybe not the best way to build a deck because it's not good with the Jelly. And like, I feel like you don't have... You have some good hits. Maybe it's fine, but maybe just play like Hardened Scales Ozolith over Lethal Exploit Coco. It's probably how I'd want to build the deck. And then or maybe play Ozolith over Oven. I don't know like how many sack outlets you really need. Like this seems like way too many sack outlets for what seems to be like very much a Plan B combo. I do like the Metallic Mimic plan. I'd also be tempted to play all 8 Mana Dorks, but I'm not sure that that's correct. GG's full flip. Does my opponent have a Polymorph here? They do. I think we're in a good game too. Matthew with the 32 months. Yeah, big shout out to Kung Fu Mike. Okay. So play against the Polymorph deck. I don't know if I want 4 cages in this matchup. Inscription of Abundance is also pretty good against the Polymorph effect. Maybe I'll do something like 2 cages. 3 Inscription and cut like a Scavenging Ooze. I know these are like a lot of loose thoughts, but I don't think you want to play the ovens. Like, you're just not going to come off that often. Like, maybe play like the Ozlith over the oven, or play like 3 Ozliths. I think you really need Hardened Scales. I think Lethal Export is maybe a sideboard removal spell, but just not a card I think I would want to play at all. Very cool deck, though. Okay, cool hands. Definitely needs to top deck some stuff. Am I excited for the new Kendrick? I am hugely excited, yeah. I'm a big Kendrick fan. I've been, like, very antsy for an album for a long time, but, of course, I would rather him take his time on the albums and, than have them just, like, get pumped out every year. But they're just such a treat when they come out. Does Cage do anything? Do these new polymorphs not exile? Oh, I guess Cage doesn't... Maybe... Does Cage stop polymorph and not, Wait, yeah, maybe Cage doesn't actually do anything. I think you might be right. Alright, I think we just play... Scales, tapped Lair. Hope to draw, like, Ranger class or something. Yeah, is it just creativity that gets around it, or does it beat the polymorphs at all? Sure, we don't draw the Cage. Transmogrify. Exile that creature. Target that creature's controller reveals cards to the top of the library until they reveal a creature card. Yeah, this doesn't actually exile. I think that we may be good. Doesn't stop creativity though. And it's also not in... We don't have it in play. Yeah, I think that's creativity that exiles. Yeah, Crawling Barrens isn't Pioneer. I guess when people suggested Barrens, I forgot that it does get the counters. But I don't know that you can afford too many colorless lands here. Yeah, you can maybe play 1. When someone suggested earlier, I forgot that it does do the counters thing. Another Narset. They find a Chariot off the Narset. Okay, well, this was a rough go. It was a good time off stream, bad time on stream. I think I don't want to quite leave Pioneer just yet, though.